All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Allison and Laura, and we are here to talk adoption. Laura is an adoptive mom of two. I am an adoptee and an adoptive parent, and we are both children's book authors on the subject of adoption. So, with that, I want to ask Laura today around. So, we had one of these segments that was around, what inspired the book, etc. But it's always interesting to know kind of when this book was created, and a little bit of the why. So Laura, give it to us.
All right. Well, so again, my book is called The Tale of Mallory Mouse, From Foster to Adoption. And it is the true story of my youngest daughter's adoption from foster care. And our Cecilia, kind of the why was our Cecilia, she was a little bit just confused about the details of her adoption, and mainly because her adoption was different from her sister's. Her sister Sophie has an open adoption, and so we have meetings with her birth parents. And I think it's just challenging, even though we try to kind of explain and talk about the differences. It's confusing, and that's a whole nother thing, that the confusion in that one of them has an open adoption and then Cecilia does not have an open adoption, and just kind of how to navigate all of that. But so with both my girls, I wrote these little snapfish books to tell them and I called them like the story of Sophie Maureen and the story of Cecilia Kathleen. And it was just talking about their exact story, and it started at birth. It started from what I knew. So I knew I wanted to explain her story so that she could process it, she could understand it. And so I kind of had it in my head for a long time. But once you and I had decided, like, we're going to take this class, we're going to write a book. And I was like, I'm going to write down this adoption story. And I wanted it to be her kind of I wanted it to be her exact story, so that it was kind of for other people who might be in the same situation, but also for her. And I wanted the details to be kind of exact, and some of the illustrations to be kind of exact, so that it was our story and her story in particular. And so when I started to write the actual manuscript, it came pretty quick because it was our true story. So I kind of like got the main outline of the story pretty quick on this little notebook, and I would read it to her, and I would read it to my husband and my other daughter. And my oldest daughter had lots of details that she wanted to add in, but my husband wanted to add in some of the attributes of our little Cecilia, who is Mallory Mouse, but he's like, she's got to be, just as spunky as Cecilia is, and so there's a picture that's on the title page where Mallory Mouse is standing on top of her high chair, and she's got like a cape on. And I have a real picture of Cecilia. She was always standing on top of her high chair because she was Houdini. She could, you'd buckle her in and she could unbuckle herself and she would climb on top of it, and we would try to move it down so because she'd climb out. She could climb off of anything. I have pictures of her on top of the toilet paper roll. And so that stuff we wanted to add in there. And then some of the back and forth between the foster family and us, and just to kind of see some of that. But so I wrote that part all pretty quickly, and it was a little bit confusing for the editor, because a lot of people don't understand how much back and forth there goes into, an adoption from foster care, and every adoption from foster care is different. Some people are the foster parents of the child, and in our case, we were not. And so there was some back and forth between foster parents and us. And in some cases, it's back and forth between birth parents and foster parents. So I wanted it to be our story. And so that's kind of how I got the initial manuscript, which did stay pretty much the same. Even after we went through editing, because you go through editing to make sure the story makes sense. And then you go back through and make sure, their sentence structures accurate and all of that. And then you want to go back through and make sure that the illustrations are helping to tell the story and all of that. But the main words were our story. So I feel like that was written in 2016, when it all happened. So that's kind of the story of when and how my story came to be.
I love that. And what a special thing for your daughter, right? To like have that book and be able to look at herself. And does she enjoy that she is Mallory Mouse?
She loves it. I think I had shared that she, at school, she talks about it a lot, and she tells them that she's Mallory Mouse, and they can call her Cecilia, but they can also call her Mallory Mouse. And she was having this problem with these kids on the bus. I don't know if I had already shared this, but I'll share it again because it was very cute. And she was saying that they were bullying her, and kind of turned out that they weren't really bullying her. But one of them was saying she wasn't strong, and she's like, I am strong. And she like made a muscle, and then she said, my mama wrote a book, and the book's called Mallory, The Tale of Mallory Mouse, and I'm Mallory. It was just funny, like, and I'm Mallory. But she does right now. She loves it. And I am going to be posting some of my Kickstarter materials are starting to arrive. And so the pictures or the stickers came. And she got to open it, and she was just like, oh my gosh, I'm on a sticker, so it's really special for all of us. It's really special, but especially for her.
I'm sure. And the plushie. So for anyone out there, she also has a plushie of Mallory Mouse. And so it's really cute.
Yes. She sleeps with the one. We have the sample that's already here. And then the big box is hopefully arriving any day now. The big box of a whole bunch of them. But yeah, we have one sample, and Cecilia sleeps with it. So it's sweet.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very sweet. Well, cool. Well, thank you for sharing about, when and kind of why you wrote the story.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Laura.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.